health and nutrition. I came into this side of our industry where I met an incredible human being named Roger Hill. I've met thousands of people over the course of my career. Roger was different. Roger stood out to me. But the thing that struck me was his intellect, the way his mind worked. I believe his brain is a gift from God. He just takes everything in and analyzes it in real time and then moves forward with a decision. I call it the unique ability to find the corners in the circle. And Roger can do it. And that intellect served him well in his career at NASA. Roger used to hold regular meetings with people that you can read about in the history books. And if that wasn't great enough, imagine then being recruited away from NASA by the Pentagon. They came requesting his presence. Roger answered their call and spent years at the Pentagon. And during both of those careers, he started doing his own personal deep dives into health and nutrition. But as you might expect with the way his mind works, he didn't take the chemical route, the pharmaceutical route. Roger looked at nature. He looked at synergy when things are combined, the greater unique things that come from those combinations and what they can mean for our health and nutrition. And he brought all of that research, all of that learning and his experience with success over here to MoreMito.
Yes,
planted his flag, and look, he runs our company. He is our CEO, and we're blessed that that's the case. We're also blessed by the fact that he partnered with a brilliant research scientist, a gentleman named Dr. Bevan Elliott. Dr. Bevan, we call him the pride of Clemson, has not just created an important product line for us. He has created a delivery system that sets it apart because it allows our ingredients not just to get through your cell walls, but deeper through the walls of your mitochondria.
Hello, everyone joining us.
Increase your mitochondria. That delivery system is called XDS. You're going to hear more about that through this evening.
Yes.
It's the thing that sets us apart. So what's all that mean? It means we don't do Me Too products. We are a one-of-a-kind. You only get our products from our company. If you run out, you don't go to Walmart and get it. If you want them, there's nothing like the UltraMito line. We get them from our company, and people get them from you. And to hear more about all of this,
from us, guys. Stephanie Alford,
our CEO,
or whoever referred you.
Roger, are you there?
Great to be with you, Dale.
Yes.
Good to hear your voice, my friend. Take it away.
Make sure you get your drinks, your snacks, pens and pencils. You don't want to miss any of this information.
You have to be. You know, every week at MoreMito, we address a different health topic. We love talking about things that are important to you and your health. The recent weeks we talked about a number of things that had to do with your immune system. We talked about your eyes and vision. We talked about your heart and your other organs.
Yes.
This week,
hello, everyone.
Reboot.
Thanks for joining.
Smarter, with better memory, no brain fog, less stress.
This is part 2. Part 1 was on Saturday, so if you missed it, then you can go over to the Afterworld Show with Stephanie and go to our conference call playlist and catch part 1.
We're going to continue it today. But before we do, let me introduce you to us, especially if you're new. By now you might know that we're a nutraceutical company and we're noted for making some profoundly effective products for people and their pets. There's a really good reason for that. It has to do with some technology. Bevan Elliott has been my partner since 2015.
Hello, everyone.
I believe he's pioneering a new way to make all of us healthier. Here's how he wants to do that. He wants to increase the amount of energy that your cells produce. Why? Well, how about everything takes energy in our body?
Everything in your body takes energy, yes.
Everybody, by the way, started out early in life with a lot of what's called mitochondria. That's where the energy you run your body with comes from. You remember when you had a lot more than you got now? Like when you were a kid, you ran, you jumped, you played, mama might have to yell at you, tell you to start running through the house or playing on the stairs. Question, when was the last time you ran upstairs? When was the last time you ran anywhere and nobody was chasing? Okay? Now, so they don't do that so much like you used to, right? Kids do it all the time because they have so much more energy. Well, as you've been going through life, you've been losing these mitochondria, not just because you got older. Okay? You were losing it because of, in some instances, diseases you might have encountered. For example, if you got COVID, it exhausted and killed mitochondria, and chances are you did not get them all back.
Right.
But the same thing is true of other diseases. High blood pressure, diabetes, and any number of others do the same thing, right? Medications, as good as they are at helping us in certain ways, many of them are serial killers of mitochondria as well.
Yes, they
Right?
are.
Things you get into in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And all kinds of things can damage your mitochondria, so that by the time you get to be about 60, chances are you've lost about half of the mitochondria you had when you were younger. Well, what does that help? Probably nothing. Just reflect on what happens to most people, or many people, as you go through life. Losing those mitochondria, you reach a point at which you don't see as well, right? Maybe you're nearsighted or farsighted. Maybe you have problems with your night vision. All of those things have to do with your loss of mitochondria. In dim light, you need 3 times as much light as you used to by the time you're about 50. Okay, again, loss of mitochondria.
Yes.
How about your strength and stamina? You know, most people on this line have probably figured out that they're not spring chickens anymore, right? You know, you don't have that strength and stamina that you used to, principally because you have lost the mitochondria that you used to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Consider your the way your brain works, which is what we're talking about today. We're going to spend a lot of time on this. But
Part 2, guys.
the top 3 organs as pertains to mitochondria are your heart, your brain, and your eyes. So how are you going to be as smart? How are you going to have the strength and stamina? How is any of that going to work if you have substantially less of that mitochondria, particularly your immune system, right? It's got to protect you from everything that, that's trying to attack you and whatnot. It's an energetic process. As you lose that energy, you can't do it as well. So is there any wonder that in general, younger people are healthier than older people are? Not at all. When you look at how important the energy is and how much typically an older person is lost versus a younger person. Okay? So what is MoreMito and Dr. Ed trying to do about all of that? Once again, grow it back. Dr. Ed has actually created a technology that can do that. And that's what sets us apart from everything else we've ever tried, ever used over the course of our lives. And this is some pretty good stuff, right? We've all used it. Tell you what, none of it did. None of it regrew your mitochondria. Right? That's a breakthrough that only Dr. F. Elliott has made. He has a special technology. It's called XDS. That stands for Exponential Delivery System. And what it does is reorganize
Hello, everyone. Thanks for compliments.
That you'll see on our product label, so they don't just get in your bloodstream. Other folks can do that. Or even into your cells. It's got to get all the way into your mitochondria, because that's where the real magic can happen. And then we're going to be talking about on this call, in fact, in every call. That technology is in our product line. That product line is called UltraMito, as in Ultra Mitochondria. And that's what Dale's going to come back and talk to you about. Dale.
Thank you, Roger. Listen, everybody, the first product I want to mention is called Rejuvenate. It's our topical cream. And it's for your skin, from head to toe. Put it in your hair, massage it into your scalp. It's for anything that disturbs your skin. A scratch, a scrape, a cut, a bump, a mole, a blemish, anything disturbing your skin. And it does more than just help with the skin issues. It soaks through your skin, soaks down to the bone. That means it helps with your ligaments and with your tendons, with your muscles and your joints. And I'm talking about the joints in the back and your hips and your knees, your hands. And listen, if you or anybody you know has a condition in your hands or feet, you're going to find that Rejuvenate becomes your go-to product to help with that issue. Those issues can start as tingling and become incredibly severe. Go in the back office and listen to the testimonials about severe varicose veins and how those change. And just listen to the testimonials. What a powerful, powerful product.
Yes.
Next, I want to talk about Restore 3.0. It's our first third-generation product, and Dr. Bevan has truly did something incredible. Using a base of 2 ancient superfoods, olive oil with olive leaf and flaxseed. They've both been used for thousands of years because of the benefits they provide to the human condition. They mention olive oil in the Bible. They found flaxseed when they opened King Tut's tomb. But Dr. Bevan uses several elements in a unique and special way with olive oil. He uses several elements to tune up and detoxify your cells while increasing your mitochondria. I'm going to say it again. That's what sets us apart. That's unique and the only product that does it. That's our name. MoreMito, short for mitochondria. Dr. Bevan discovered that when you can increase your mitochondria back to the age when you were a kid, then your body is able to start working the way it's supposed to, the way it used to. The way it did before life in the environment started tearing your body down. And he uses flaxseed to increase your energy, but it's cellular energy. It's steady, it's strong. It's not like a hit of caffeine or sugar with a big high followed by a deep crash. Cellular energy is steady. Imagine being able to start and complete a task without a need to rest.
Yes.
Or the disappearance of your brain fog. Something strenuous, like a long bike ride that has a very short recovery time. Look, it allows you to grab a hold of life and live it again on your terms instead of sitting on the couch, resting and watching it all pass you by. And I've only mentioned 2 of the 44 ingredients Dr. Bevan has used and blended to create Restore. The blending is critical. Dr. Bevan will tell you if you take a handful of vitamins, you'd be lucky if a third of that isn't a complete waste, overpowered and canceled out by other things in that handful of vitamins. Everything has to be in the right proportion to work synergistically instead of fighting each other. Dr. Bevan has done it. And then, of course, the most important thing is the XDS that lets your body use it like nothing it's been able to use before. This is not an issue of just pouring some stuff in a pot, stirring it, and putting it in a bottle. It takes 8 weeks to make a bottle of Restore. It's like making wine. And the results are astounding. Our newest product, Renew, Brain, and Body, one of the ingredients we need to increase our mitochondria can't be delivered in a wet space. They have to be delivered dry. So we created these very small capsules with these additional ingredients to complete the regrowth of your mitochondria. Renew, Brain, and Body stands on the shoulders of Rejuvenate and Restore. It helps with the blood flow in your extremities, your arms, your legs, your brain. Helps with firing the synapses in the brain. Is a powerful addition, the final addition, to complete the triad of products to increase your mitochondria.
This is the
triad.
triad.
And it's for some of the most important members of our family. That's the pets that we have. The most viewed videos on the internet are pet videos. We love them. People call themselves pet parents. Listen, pets suffer just like we do. If you've seen a dog that can hardly walk, seems hobbled, sure as heck is not playing fetch with the kids anymore or chasing kids on bikes. You may have a cat that's become lethargic, just lays around hacking up fur balls. Listen, pets suffer just like we do, and they're close to all the bad things that destroy mitochondria. The chemicals we put on our rubs when we clean them, the things we put on the lawn to make them grow, they're even allergic to things that we're allergic to. So if you want to bring a dog quickly back to puppy stage and a cat back to kitten stage, replace their mitochondria with Petlife. So 4 products: Rejuvenate, Restore 3.0, Renew, Brain and Body, and Petlife. There is nothing like what these products can do for you when you combine them with your DNA. To hear more about all of that, I'm going to turn the call back over to Roger. Roger, take it away.
All right, thank you, Dale. Again, our topic tonight, reboot your brain. You know, it kind of works like the way your computer, your phone does. They can get kind of stuck, their performance degraded. You just got to reboot it. You got to reset it, right? That's been our topic this week. Dr. Dan Soloway and I, you know him as a regular on our call. He's out of Oklahoma City, where he's done radio and podcasts for decades now. So Dr. Dan, we've been talking about this. You made a great connection on Saturday to how you exercise and do some very important other things are to your ability to function mentally at a high level. So if you would continue that conversation you were having there.
Yeah, I'm here, Roger. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make the first point I made last week. We talked about the eyes having the most mitochondria in the retina, but the brain has the second most. And think about it this way. Your brain, and we made this statement Saturday morning, the brain is only 3 pounds, and yet 20% of your energy is activity goes through the brain. And they tell you in the wintertime to be sure to wear a hat because you lose a great deal of your body heat through your top of your head. Well, the energy is being produced by the mitochondria because there's so much activity below our conscious awareness going on in the brain all the time. And if that gets turned down, if you start losing mitochondria, you're losing your ability to regulate your body, to know what's going on, to reach out into your environment, all these different factors that are dependent on that mitochondria energy which within the neuron and the firing of the neurons and then moving out into the body. So obviously, mitochondria is extraordinarily important for the health and ability for the brain to function at an optimal level. Now, exercise is extremely important for the brain for a number of different reasons. It increases blood flow to the brain, which brings nutrients to the brain. It also de-stresses the brain. And stress is, they always say, is the number one killer. That tells you how important the brain is. Someone has something will happen in their life, they lose someone they love or whatever, and their health goes downhill. What does that tell you? That tells you your brain can greatly affect the rest of your body and whether you're healthy or vibrant or whether you're not.
Right.
So the stress, brain, we talked about that little study I thought was interesting, where they take saliva of football players going into a game, and then, the audience, fans, they take a saliva swab, and they ask them to get on the way out. And if their team won, their testosterone was up. If their team lost, it was down. Now, a lot of games are lost the last few seconds of the game. That tells you how quickly the change in mood can affect your hormones in your body. We know that the adrenaline gland, when a woman sees a car pinning down her child, and she goes over and lifts a car up and gets her child out, it's something she could never do before. That is the ability when the brain is really saying, okay, crisis, we got to move, we got to go. Now, the brain, to be really thinking well, to be able to learn and study, it can't be anxious. It has to be able to calm itself down. And so Roger refers to this as emotional intelligence, a very good word for it. But it's not only stress release, it's getting all the factors and working together. It's like having an orchestra that all the instruments are playing in tune. You have some go off here doing their thing, another group doing that. It doesn't work. But if you have everything working in tune, you can learn at a faster rate, you can respond, you can remember. But if the brain, it doesn't have its the mitochondria going, and we're the best there is at increasing mitochondria, this new technology, I've never seen anything do what we're doing. When you increase the mitochondria, then the brain can be calm, it can be brilliant, it can be creative, it can be able to regulate the body, it can do all the things it's meant to do. And we take people that even were stressed out as children, and when they have the mitochondria and everything else going with it that's in these products, in the Restore and Renew, and to a degree within the Rejuvenate Gel, when those things are being brought into the brain, they're doing things they've never done before. That's what amazes me. I expect them to lose things as they age. What I never expected is for things to take place that they couldn't do 20, 30 years ago, or maybe even as children are now able to do. And so, Roger, I have a lot more I want to talk to you about later, but I'll give it back to you right now.
Yep, I'm going to bring you back. Okay, reboot your brain. Let's keep going. It's important to us, not just for us to address physical issues, but mental and emotional as well. And we thought that maybe you could get started. Feel like saying the 2.0. Yeah, that impressed me. So here's my first question. Do you feel like you're performing better mentally since you've been on the store?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Second question. What do you feel like you're doing better that translates into better performance during your job or in your business? How has that manifested itself in a functional way with your productivity?
For me, I think critical thinking, being able to look at issues with more the critical eye towards a solution. And before I had started taking a store, decision making,
is better when I've got multiple tasks and things that I have to do. I've also noticed memory, both short and long term, is better. Seem to be doing better with Jeopardy answers than ever before. I look at Jeopardy every week and
Interesting.
surprise myself sometimes. So, things like that, and not to get esoteric, but I think my intuition is a little better. Because you notice after about a year that I just seem to be able to anticipate what someone might be thinking. I don't want to go too deep into that.
I do know what you're talking about. Last question, since you mentioned that. What would you say to somebody who hears this, any part of what you said, and is skeptical? What would you say to that person?
I'd say don't take my word for it, try it.
Yeah. All right. Jeremy 2.0, thank you for that.
Okay.
Yeah, not an isolated incident at all. Better mind-body connection, even your spiritual connection, all of those things people report to us have been enhanced once we regrow the mitochondria. And let me kind of set this out. That's our approach. Let's regrow the mitochondria, give your body a chance to work better as opposed to diagnose, treat, cure diseases. That's what you have your doctor for. Okay? We present you with these interviews that I've done so you can understand how people who may have a concern similar to yours have performed after we've done that for them. So that's our purpose, okay? Now, one of the things that we have clearly noticed is the connection between diseases and damage to your mitochondria. Just about every major disease is doing that, like you heard me say in the introduction. And a lot of this has to do with high blood pressure and high blood sugar, right? I mean, if you just take blood pressure, for example, nearly half the general population, over half the African American and Hispanic population have high blood pressure. It is damaging your brain, okay? All right? So let's appreciate my conversation with Kathleen Norton. She thought she was having dementia, among other things. So, Catherine, tell me what your health concerns were before you met with them.
Well, I have diabetes and I have gums and a little short-term memory problems, or I remember stuff like I used to. So I was thinking, dementia and all kinds of stuff. You know how when remember properly, and you hear so much and you just think the words. So that was my biggest concern. I haven't been taking that much of the Mito, just one little, this little thing, but my blood pressure is like 120 over 64.
What was it before you met with our product?
Well, it has been like high as 140 over 85, but
Trying to get past hitting like 140 over what you're taking, it come down to what?
I'm like 125 over 64.
Okay. And
She's